Our second guest today is Ed McManus, and Ed's going to tell us a little bit about the Cranberry Festival, and that's a lot, Ed, right?
Oh yeah, well, as you know, this is we're coming up. This is our 42nd year.
Wow. How long have you been at it?
My wife and I, we moved into town in 2000, August of 2000, and
Oh, so 17 years?
yeah, and it's interesting. We actually were here and got our cable TV hooked up, and we're watching the local Channel 18 feed, and they said, "Oh, we have this festival, and we need volunteers," and so we signed up, and I've been there ever since.
Very good.
Haven't been able to escape yet.
Why didn't you take charge of the first year?
Oh, nothing. We just pitched in, doing whatever needed, and the next year, after the next year, they asked me to be vice president, and so I served a year as vice president and then president, and then we had some, as everybody knows, we had some changes, moved from the high school down to Brooks Park
Yes.
with the coming of the new high school construction. In making that move, I became president. That was about, 7 years ago, and I haven't been able to sucker somebody else into it. But really, no, it's it's a all volunteer operated
Yes.
committee, and we are always looking for more volunteers.
I know you have quite a staff. There a
Yeah.
particular area that you need people in?
Well, initially, to have people to volunteer to be around on the days and the times of our events to help out, just with whatever needs to be doing.
Yes.
In the past years at Brooks Park, we've been running the hot dog and hamburger stand. And because of a lack of volunteers, we had to give that up this year because we just didn't have a number of folks to staff it. Luckily, Mad Minnow Restaurant in Harwich Port are bringing their cart up to provide refreshments during the fairs, which, because people come to Brooks Park and expect to get a hot dog or a hamburger, and so we're lucky to have that. And it was unfortunate, but it takes about 7 people to run the stand successfully, and a lot of us are
Do
getting
you find
too
that
few.
some of the people are not volunteering as they used to?
Yeah, I think so. There's people are getting involved in a lot of other things. There's less folks that are here year round that have the time to spare. I mean, it's during the summer, people are busy and with work. I know I am. You sort of eke things out during the winter, and when summer comes, you're working 2 or 3 different jobs. And so it takes time to dedicate, but also we do some activities in the off season too. The festival is more in September, a little bit past the season, and then with our music events during the year, those are clearly off season, and we need people to usher at the different venues where we put on concerts. By the way, let me, if I could, I'll give you sort of the rundown of
Sure thing.
what we're planning. One of the things that when we've started doing co-sponsoring with the community center here is a community yard sale. That's on the first Saturday in August, the 5th, and it starts at 9 o'clock and runs till 1. And it's a chance for a whole variety of local organizations and also some local individuals to set up a table and have a bit of a flea market and raise some funds for their organization.
Yeah. Carolyn has been on telling us about that, and
yeah.
it's quite a thing.
Yeah, and it's an easy event, but I think it's an enjoyable
Yes,
event for a
very
lot of
good.
people.
Yeah.
And then the following weekend, also at Brooks Park, we'll be running the August the 2nd of our crafts fair this summer. And I believe we're up over just slightly over 100 vendors who will be appearing at the show, arts and crafts people. And as I mentioned, Mad Minnow Restaurant will probably be providing the refreshments for that. And then later on in September, September 9th is our annual beach day down at Red River Beach. Have a lot of activities planned. I believe the Kukunis family will be bringing a variety of farm animals down. We're going to have a decorated bicycle parade, a touch-a-truck, a lot of beach games and whatnot. And at that event, the catering trailer from the Dennis Public Market is going to be coming and providing concessions and refreshments, and they run a real good operation. And then that ends at 6 o'clock with a musical performance and 7 o'clock with a bonfire on the beach. And then the following weekend, 16th and 17th, well, I should mention on Sunday the 10th, the Chamber of Commerce, as part of the festival, will be running the Harwich Hometown Parade, which is going to, the route of that this year is just going to be on 28 in Harwichport.
Oh, on 28?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Which
They're not coming up this way?
They're not coming up. It makes it the route too long, and there's that long stretch typically between 28 and Main Street where there isn't a whole lot of people viewing the parade. So it's they've decided to try and concentrate it in so they can get some excitement. And I think that's actually a good thing. Yeah. Then the 16th and 17th is the annual festival, and we actually have a bit of a big change this year. We're going to be, instead of at Brooks Park, we're moving back up Oak Street, and we're going to set up the festival and music concerts on the ball fields behind the community center.
Oh, back here?
Back here, yes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And we doing that, one, it allows us to expand the number of booths that we've had. We were sort of limited at about 125 or 130 booths. And that meant that we were, in years past, turning down some artists and craftspeople, and also turning down some community booths, sort of community interest booths we take in on a no-cost basis, and this will allow us to have a much bigger array of those community booths, and also many more arts and craftspeople. Expand it. We'll also be able to, way that we set up the tent for the music, instead of it being separated across the parking lot, sort of like it's a separate thing, be able to set it up so it feels more like part of the festival.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then the other thing that'll happen is the community center will be open that day. The director felt it'd been important with that many people coming that she'd like people to be able to come in the center and see what you all here have to offer, and also in the gymnasium, the Chamber of Commerce is going to participate by setting up a sort of a fall home show for Harwich businesses that, whether they're landscapers and have offer cleanup packages for people's yards, or other things that folks may want to have done to their houses over the winter. Those businesses will be able to sort of meet the public there, and so, just other businesses in town, whether they are art galleries or
merge a lot of things together.
Yeah. So I think it'll turn out to be quite an attractive thing. One of the other reasons why we've done this is that being down at Brooks Park, as big as the festival was starting to get, the traffic tie-up was getting horrendous, and by moving, the police department had been encouraging us to move up to the community center to sort of separate
The traffic,
congestion around the festival from Main Street and some of those critical intersections of
gonna
getting
all
around
be up
town.
here now.
Yeah. But what we'll also then do is we'll be able to set up shuttle buses to bring folks from parking at the middle school and elementary school like we did in the past. We're going to have shuttle buses going back and forth there, as well as parking across the street at the high school. So
Good.
it'll be, I think it'll be a real good event, and we have music set up for all day on Saturday into Saturday evening, and there'll be a number of food trucks. We're getting some new food trucks in to sort of expand the variety of food that we've had. Devil's Purse Brewery of Dennis is going to be providing the beer for beer sales, and we'll be I'm looking around for a good supply source of a nice wine to serve also.
Oh,
so
that'd be nice.
so it'll be quite an event. So and as I said, we can always we're always looking for additional volunteers. We have our monthly meetings on the fourth Wednesday of each month here at the community center at 6:30, and we encourage people to show up and find out about us and what the sort of things you can do to help out. Beach Day, we need people to help run the kids' games and those sorts of things. During the festival itself, a lot of what our volunteers do during the day, especially around lunchtime when some of the vendors need to use the facilities or get something to eat, some of our volunteers will sort of mind their booth for 5 or 10 minutes while they take a comfort break, shall we say. Anyway, but there's a lot of things to do, and it's an enjoyable group of folks to work with. So.
Well, it sounds like you've got a lot taken care of, and we wish you good luck.
Well, thank you, and we'll be seeing you, I'm sure.
Okay, yes,
All
sir.
right.